I never meant to fall in love with him. He wasn't mine to love. He was my sister's boyfriend. And the worst part, I knew the way he looked at me wasn't normal. I knew the silence between us was too loud. I knew that every time our hands accidentally touched, something shifted. But I ignored it. Because she's my sister. And sisters don't steal. Sisters protect. Sisters sacrifice. Right then one night, everything changed. He told me the truth. And that truth destroyed my family. This is the story of how I lost my sister. Because her boyfriend was secretly in love with me. Now starting the full cinematic story. I grew up believing that loyalty was everything. My sister, Emily, was 2 years older than me. She was louder. Braver. The kind of girl who walked into a room and owned it. I was the quiet one. The shadow. The "you're so sweet sister." She was the one boys noticed. I was the one boys forgot. And honestly, I never minded. Because Emily was my person. We shared a bedroom until college. We shared clothes. Secrets. Late night whispers about boys we thought were cute. We promised each other something when we were kids. No matter what happens, we choose each other. I believed that promise. Until she met him. His name was Daniel. He walked into our house one Friday night, holding flowers and smiling like he had nothing to hide. Tall. Calm. Polite. The kind of man mothers instantly approve of. I remember the first time he looked at me. It wasn't inappropriate. It wasn't obvious. But it lingered. Just a second too long. I told myself I was imagining it. Emily was glowing around him. She laughed louder. Dressed prettier. Texted non-stop. She was in love. And I was happy for her. At least, that's what I kept telling myself. The first crack appeared 3 months later. We were all watching a movie together in the living room. Emily fell asleep on his shoulder. I was sitting across from them. Daniel's eyes weren't on the movie. They were on me. Not in a hungry way. Not in a dirty way. In a searching way. Like he was trying to understand something. I looked away first. That night, I couldn't sleep. Because something felt wrong. Not dramatic. Just, off. Over time, little things started happening. He'd ask me questions about my dreams. My fears. My favorite books. He remembered things I said. Small things. Like how I hated thunderstorms. Or how I wanted to move to New York one day. Emily didn't notice. Or maybe she didn't want to. I tried creating distance. I stayed in my room more. I avoided sitting next to him. I stopped making eye contact. But you can't outrun tension that lives in the same house. Then came the night that changed everything. Emily had a work dinner. Daniel came over anyway because he said he needed to drop something off. I was alone. When I opened the door, he looked nervous. Not casual. Not relaxed. Nervous. "I need to talk to you," he said. My stomach dropped. I should have said no. I should have called Emily. I should have walked away. But I didn't. We sat in the kitchen. The silence was unbearable. Finally, he said the words that shattered my world. "I think I made a mistake." I froze. "What do you mean?" He swallowed hard. "I care about Emily. I do. But I feel something different when I'm around you." The air disappeared from my lungs. "No, I whispered. Don't say that. But he continued. I've tried to ignore it. I've tried to fight it. But it's real. I stood up. Angry. Shaking. You're with my sister. I know. You love her. He looked down. And that was the moment I knew. He didn't. Not the way he was supposed to. Tears burned behind my eyes. You need to leave. He didn't argue. He just said one last thing before walking out. If things were different, I would have chosen you. And just like that, my world split in two. Because the worst part, a tiny, shameful part of me, wanted him to. I didn't sleep that night. Not even for a second. I kept replaying his words in my head. If things were different, I would have chosen you. Chosen me. I hated that sentence. Because it wasn't just his confession that scared me. It was my reaction to it. I didn't feel disgust. I didn't feel rage. I felt heartbreak. And that terrified me. The next morning, Emily walked into the kitchen humming. She looked happy. Carefree. She kissed my cheek and started making coffee like nothing in the world could touch her. And I stood there staring at her thinking, you have no idea. Daniel said he stopped by last night, she smiled. Did you see him? My throat tightened. Yeah. He just dropped something off. That's sweet. He misses me when I'm not around. The guilt was suffocating. I wanted to tell her. I wanted to grab her shoulders and scream the truth. But what would that do? Break her heart, destroy our family, or worse, make her hate me? So I stayed silent. And that silence became my prison. For the next 2 weeks, Daniel avoided coming over. Emily complained about it constantly. He's been distant, she said one night while sitting on my bed. Do you think he's stressed or losing feelings? My heart pounded so loud I thought she could hear it. Relationships have phases, I said carefully. Maybe give him space. She studied my face. You're acting weird lately. I forced a smile. I'm just tired. She nodded, but I could tell she wasn't convinced. Sisters know. Even when you lie. Then one evening, everything exploded. Emily stormed into the house crying. He broke up with me. The words hit me like a physical blow. I felt dizzy. What happened? I asked, trying to sound shocked. He said he's confused. That he needs to figure himself out. Her voice cracked. He said it wouldn't be fair to stay if his heart wasn't fully in it. My stomach twisted. Those were my words. The ones I had told him that night. You can't stay with her if your heart isn't fully in it. He listened. And now she was shattered because of it. Emily collapsed into my arms, sobbing. And I held her. The irony was cruel. She cried over the man who had confessed his love to me. And I cried silently, because I couldn't tell her why. Weeks passed. Daniel disappeared from our lives. Emily started changing. She became quieter. Colder. She stopped talking about the future. Stopped laughing the same way. And every time I saw her hurting, I blamed myself. Even though I never touched him. Never encouraged him. Never crossed a physical line. Emotionally that line had been crossed the moment I didn't shut it down fast enough. Then came the message. 3 words. From Daniel. I miss you. Not her. Me. I stared at my phone for a full minute. I could block him. I should block him. But instead, I replied. You can't text me. The typing bubble appeared instantly. I know. I'm sorry. I needed you to know it wasn't fake. My hands were shaking. What wasn't fake? What I feel for you. I closed my eyes. Why wasn't he making this easier? Why couldn't he just be a villain? Why did he have to sound sincere? Daniel, you hurt my sister. I know. She loved you. I cared about her. But I loved you. There it was again. Love. The word I refused to let myself feel. You don't love me, I typed. You just think you do. I've dated confident girls like Emily my whole life, he replied. But you see me. You listen. You don't perform. You're real. Tears rolled down my cheeks. Because for the first time in my life, someone chose me first. Not as the quieter sister. Not as the backup. But as the one. And that realization was more dangerous than anything. Days later, he asked to see me. In public. Just to talk. I shouldn't have gone. But I did. We met at a small coffee shop across town. Neutral territory. Safe. Or so I thought. When he walked in, my heart reacted before my brain could stop it. He looked exhausted. Regretful. But certain. Thank you for coming, he said softly. This can't happen, I replied immediately. He nodded. I know. But I need clarity. Do you feel anything for me? The question hung between us like a loaded weapon. This was the moment. The crossroads. Lie and protect my sister. Or tell the truth and destroy everything. I swallowed hard. And whispered. Yes. Silence. Not dramatic. Not loud. Just heavy. His eyes closed like he'd been holding his breath for months. I knew it, he said quietly. And that's when I realized something terrifying. This wasn't a crush. This wasn't confusion. This was mutual. And mutual feelings are much harder to bury. But before anything else could be said, I heard a familiar voice behind me. Are you kidding me? I turned around slowly. And there she was. Emily. Standing there. Watching us. Her eyes weren't filled with sadness. They were filled with betrayal. Pure. Unforgiving. Betrayal. And in that moment, I knew I had just lost my sister. Emily didn't scream. That would have been easier. She didn't cry. That would have hurt less. She just stood there, staring at both of us like we were strangers. How long? She asked quietly. The calm in her voice scared me more than anything. Emily, it's not what you think. I started. She laughed. A sharp, broken sound. Please don't insult me. Daniel stood up. I ended things with you before. Before what? She snapped. Before confessing your love to my sister or after. Her eyes moved to me. And I have never felt smaller in my entire life. You, she whispered. That word carried years of history. Shared birthdays. Shared secrets. Shared promises. No matter what happens, we choose each other. And I had just broken that promise. I didn't plan this, I said, my voice shaking. I tried to stop it. But you didn't, she replied. The truth burned. Because she was right. I didn't stop it. I didn't block him. I didn't tell her. I didn't choose her. I chose silence. And silence is still a choice. People in the cafe were staring now. Whispers started. Daniel tried to step toward her, but she moved back. "Don't," she said. "You don't get to comfort me." Then she looked at me again. "I defended you to him, you know." My chest tightened. When he started acting distant, I told him you were just stressed. That you'd never hurt me. That you were loyal. Her voice cracked for the first time. "I trusted you more than I trusted him." That sentence shattered me. Because sisters are supposed to be unbreakable. And I broke us. She left without another word. And Daniel reached for my hand. I pulled away instantly. "Don't touch me." "Why?" he asked, confused. "Because this isn't romantic," I whispered. "This is destruction." "I love you," he said firmly. "And I love my sister." The problem was, both were true. That night, our house felt like a battlefield. Emily locked herself in her room. I stood outside her door for an hour. Knocking softly. "Please talk to me." Silence. "I'm sorry." Still nothing. Then finally, her voice came through the door. "You didn't just betray me." A pause. "You replaced me." That accusation cut deeper than anything else. "I didn't mean to." "But you did." I slid down the wall, tears falling freely. "I never wanted him over you." "Then why does he want you over me?" she asked. And I had no answer. Days turned into weeks. She stopped eating dinner with me. Stopped sitting in the same room. Stopped calling me her sister. Instead, she called me by my name. Cold. Distant. Mom noticed the tension immediately. "What's going on between you two?" she asked one evening. Neither of us spoke. Emily just looked at me. And said, "Ask her." That was the moment everything became public. The truth came out at the dinner table. And it was ugly. Mom cried. Dad was furious. Not just at Daniel. At me. "How could you do this to your own blood?" he demanded. "I didn't chase him," I defended weakly. "But you entertained it," he said. And once again, he was right. Daniel kept texting. Calling. Apologizing. Promising he would fix everything. But how do you fix a broken sisterhood? You don't. You choose. And I was running out of time to decide. One night, Daniel showed up outside our house. Emily saw him first. She opened the door before I could stop her. "You have 5 seconds to leave," she said coldly. "I just want to talk." "There's nothing left to say." He looked past her. At me. And that look alone told Emily everything. She turned to me slowly. "Are you still talking to him?" I hesitated. And hesitation is confession. Her face changed. Something hardened permanently. "You know what?" she said quietly. "You can have him." My heart stopped. "What?" "You clearly want him. Take him." "That's not. But understand this," she continued. "If you choose him, you don't get me." The ultimatum hung in the air. Daniel stepped forward. "That's unfair." She ignored him. Her eyes locked on mine. "Me? Or him?" No drama. No screaming. Just a decision. I looked at Daniel. He looked hopeful. Certain. He believed love should win. Then I looked at Emily. The girl who shared my childhood. Who held my hand on the first day of school. Who slept next to me during thunderstorms because I was scared. And I realized something painful. Daniel made me feel chosen. But Emily made me feel home. And home matters more than being chosen. I took a step back. Away from Daniel. I can't, I whispered. His face fell. I love you, he said desperately. I know. Then why? Because loving you costs me my sister. Silence. And then I said the hardest words of my life. I choose her. Daniel stood there for a long moment. Then nodded slowly. I hope she's worth it. That sentence almost broke me. Because he said it like she was an obstacle. Not my blood. He walked away. And with every step he took, a part of me hurt. But another part felt clear. Emily didn't hug me. Didn't thank me. Didn't forgive me. She just said, you should have chosen me from the start. And went inside. Weeks passed. Daniel disappeared completely this time. Emily slowly began talking to me again. Short sentences. Careful distance. But it was a start. Trust doesn't rebuild overnight. It rebuilds in silence. In effort. In patience. And I was willing to wait. One night, months later, she sat on my bed again. Like we used to. I still hate what you did, she admitted. I know. But I don't want to lose you. Tears filled my eyes. I don't want to lose you either. She studied me carefully. Did you really love him? I paused. Then answered honestly. Yes. She nodded slowly. That must have hurt. It did. She looked down at her hands. It hurt me too. And for the first time since everything exploded, we cried together. Not as enemies. Not as rivals. But as sisters. Love is powerful. But blood is permanent. And sometimes, the bravest thing you can do, is walk away from the person who chooses you, so you don't lose the one who always did.